Shine, wild ones, it's Bernadette. Happy St. Patty's Day. I'm here with your pick a card tarot reading for March. I don't even know what the date is now. I tried so hard to do an Irish accent. March 17th, 2021. I have to start out every video from now through the end of April because I have a sacred mission, and I really am asking your help. I'm asking you to help spread the word. I'm asking you to support in any way you can. If for those of you that have known me for a long time, you know that I'm the creator and channel of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, a deck that's made history, taking all awards in a number of different contests. To the best of my knowledge at this point, no other tarot deck has won Best Tarot Deck of the Year in the top 2 competitions, as well as Product of the Year with very prestigious cover awards. It's broken sales records, and that was only possible because so many of you supported my first Kickstarter. We raised almost $50,000, like literally just a few $100s shy of $50,000. I have a new book coming out. It is the most comprehensive work on spirit, totem, and power animals of any book I could find out there, because it's got in-depth descriptions of 300 animals. It's all color. There's tons of other information in there about working with the animal allies and nature, getting deeper in touch, deeper in relationship, what all of these symbols and this kind of thing can mean. It's like the definitive work. And when we hit what are called Kickstarter stretch goals, then I've got 2 other books that I am including. Because when I announced that there were only 300 animals instead of 330, a bunch of you wrote in and you were like, "Aw." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." But it was about room in the book, right? And I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, we could do this." So the stretch goals are, there's a book of 35 domestic cats, and there's another book of 35 domestic dogs, which include breeds, but it also includes shelter dogs and cats, hard to adopt out animals, senior animals, special needs animals, homeless pets, because we can learn a lot symbolically by coming to understand really what that's all about and applying it, in the ways that we want to live in this world, right? And so as the money raises, I'll unlock those books and you'll be able to get those also. And so you're going to get an amazing product that's really will at that point be, well, it won't be 300 animals, it'll be 370 animals. 370 animals. And the descriptions are different than what they are in the ARC book, which only has 149 animals. And you'll do good for animals, and you'll help me support, because April is Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Month. And I'm just going to be spotlighting that the whole way. And again, it's the donations that I'm going to make to the animal charities that work to end animal cruelty. I'm giving them that money from the profits. You can't raise money for charity on Kickstarter, which I totally get, but I can do whatever I want with my profits, and that's give it to animals. So thank you very much. Going back to the reading now. Thanks for listening. Happy St. Patty's Day to you all, because just crazily yesterday, I was talking about this thing I've got with saints all of a sudden, and it never hit me today is St. Patty's Day, and then, you guys, the cuckoo kookiness that has become my life this week. You can't make it up. So the quail has shown up for you all today. Now, what makes this funny is this. So the ruling planet of today is Mercury, named after the Greek, the Greek god. I can't think of the Greek god as one thing, but the Roman god is Mercury, right? And I said, I think Quail came up months and months ago, and I was like, they always remind me of little Roman soldiers with these little things on their head, and the message that day really had to do with that. And so, today, when I was like, wait a minute, the god Mercury, I always forget where I'm at. There's a picture right there. He's got that little thingy on his head. I'm like, okay, well, it always strikes me like that. But then what I saw, I was like, hey, I wonder what St. Patrick looks like. And he's got that thing on his head, right? So now we've got this thing on our heads. And then I was shown in my mind, I don't even know if I get through this reading, you guys. It's just one thing after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. It's crazy. So then when I was like focused in on the reading, I have a thing that goes on in my mind. It's a symbol I've gotten from Spirit for years and years and years, where if it's the opposite of something, the flip-flop of something, I'll see like a flip-flop hand in my mind. And I was like, what do you mean flip-flop? Like they need to stand on their heads? Like what is this all about? And Spirit said, listen to this. Spirit said, right animal, wrong culture. What does that mean? And then I was shown a fire pit and all of these dancers and this really awesome ceremony going on. But then I saw like ancient peoples of whatever this culture was that I just didn't recognize off the top of my head. And I thought, what do I smell? And I was like, that smells like hot chocolate. I was like, and then I saw them with like latte mugs in their and I swear, y'all, if you for people who really know me, I joke about drinking. I barely drink once every blue moon. I don't do anything else at all. Like there's nothing in my system. I really am truly this way naturally, sadly enough for people who date me. But so I was like, what is that all about? But then when I heard the music and I heard the language, I was like, is that the Mayan culture? And then all of a sudden, ploop, came a pyramid in my mind's eye. I went, that's the Mayan culture. So today, here's what your lesson is. You got the wrong culture. I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't even know. But you've got the right idea, the right animal, but the wrong culture. And what that means is, oh, okay, here's a double. Let me get through the rest of this and let me get to the like more serious part of this. Not that this is not serious. Truly it is, y'all. But as you all know, I love me some mentalfloss.com. I just love them. They get their facts right, but they are just the most engaging writers. I love them. But I want to go through some of the facts about the Mayan culture because when I was like, of course, the biggest question as a chocoholic, I mean a for real chocoholic, like people say they're chocoholics. You come stay a week with me, you'll know what chocoholic is. So I looked up Mental Floss and I'm like, facts about the Mayan civilization. Dig this, y'all. They were some of the first known people to work with chocolate and really made it an art form. Like our chocolatiers that we have today, very well, a lot of it may have stemmed from, however other people would have learned from the Mayan culture or whatever. But they made they would mix cacao with water, honey, chili peppers, cornmeal. I'm okay with the chili peppers and honey, but cornmeal, and other ingredients. And it made it more like a dense, like a foamy, spicy drink. I got to try that at some time. If you guys have never had like really excellent chocolate ice cream with chili pepper in it, it's delicious. It is so delicious. If it's made well. So that's one of the things is that you're going to find it's about your consumption. It's about consumption of food, ideas, understandings, information. Whatever you're consuming, you're being asked to consume it differently and be open to consuming it differently. And what that means is, let's say that you're a pizza person. The debate rages about whether pineapple deserves to be or should be ever on a pizza, and could you actually really call it a pizza if it's got pineapple on it, right? These are the things that people I know talk about, which says a lot about my social circle. But it's like that. It's time to open up and understand or be open to other ways of means and doing. And it's super important because it has to do with culture. It's like, well, can a pizza really be called a pizza if it's got a white sauce on it? Okay, you see where I'm going with this. And when we take a look at what we think about a culture, their music, their people, their traditions, their whatever, you're also asked to dig deeper. And here's why. Somehow the Mayans got a reputation for being like this super spiritual, very peaceful culture. But y'all, they did human sacrifices. They went to war, and they surely wore all of their plumage and their war helmets and all that kind of thing. Very, very much like Quail. Now, what they didn't do very much like Quail was they didn't scatter. Because if you get a bunch of quail together, at the first sound of poof, they go poof, and they scatter to all four corners of the earth, right? They are fraidy cats, and with good reason. I mean, listen, how is a fail going to defend themselves? They're going to whap you in the head or in the ankles with their little plumage. Come on now. Even their little dainty little claws that you're like, oh, you need some pink nail polish on those little on those little nails, little quail. It, it, it they can't defend themselves. They have to run and they have to hide. Now, having said that, let me just say this. This is a very clear message for those of you. Look, I got a little plume of my own. Holy goodness. I am channeling quail this morning, y'all. Caw-caw, caw-caw. I don't know what sound they make. It's more like as they, as they flutter off. It's like this definitive. Anyway, because I grew up in the woods, and those are the things you notice, especially when you don't have TV, because there was no cable back then. Seriously. So, if you're a person who's normally timid, you're being underestimated. And I think you're being underestimated by yourself, and you're dang for sure being, almost said it, but you're dang for sure being underestimated by people around you. You're made of much sterner stuff than that. And it's really incumbent upon you. You're being called literally to read about the Mayan culture, because there's something about the way that they waged war that's really going to be important for you. So for instance, and I'm going to shout out, and he gave me permission to use his name. Y'all, I hope you will join me in congratulating one of my favorite people on this earth. He is the son that I never had. His name is Ashish. I can never get his name right. Ashish Autotash, or I never get his last name right. I've known him for years. He was thrust into, he was in PhD school here at UF, and he was thrust into a situation that nobody should have to be thrust into. And they told him he had to finish his PhD and take his tests 8 months early. I thought he was going to have a heart attack. Guess what? He passed with flying colors. He is Dr. Ashish now, and I'm so proud of him, just so proud of him. He came over to this country all by himself. He is the kindest, gentlest, funniest. He's the one that I told you guys he's looking for a wife, a for real wife, right? Okay, and so he's all about romance and all love. So if you're a single lady, all the single ladies, hit me up, and we'll see if we can't do some matchmaker, make me a match. Anyway, so proud of you. I love you, Ashish. I'm just so proud of you. So congratulations. I knew you could do it, even when you were having a heart attack. So, all right, so back to the waging war. So that situation actually reminds me of that kind of thing, because there wasn't a thing he could do about it. He just had to go to war. And what that meant was he had to go to war with himself. He had to fight his fears. He had to conquer his mental blocks. He had to completely be just unbelievably regimented to make sure that he got in the study time, and shove 8 months of what he would have had for preparation into literally maybe 2 months. It might have been 6 weeks. It might have been. And so that's the kind of war that I'm talking about. Not necessarily that you wage war against others. However, there's also a call for you. I just keep seeing the pyramids. I'm not necessarily a pyramid person. It's not necessarily a shape that I resonate with, but I see the power in it, because it grabs the power from the collective at the bottom and then funnels it up out of the top. And there's something about that, and especially like Quail are, you're being called to gather the troops together. And even though together Quail still can't do a whole lot, because they're Quail, okay? It's not like if you gather a pride of lions, it's not like that. But there is power in these numbers, and what I'm hearing is that you're going to be so convicted and right. You're just right. And so as this group, you should move forward together of what's right. Now, the other thing is I'm hearing, there's something that you're going to stumble upon accidentally that, interestingly enough, has to do with the archaeologists that cracked the Mayan handwriting code. It was just an accident, right? Like there ever anything like that, but it was an accident. But it opened a whole new vista, a whole new world of understanding this culture. And one of those things about the culture is the accidental thing that you're going to stumble across that's going to be helpful for everybody. It's going to have a deeper understanding of whatever. Y'all, and what I mean is this. This could be as simple as Maybe my sister. She loves to, she picks one culture a month, and that's the kind of food she really focuses on. Let's say you're focused on Italian food this month, and you think you're going to focus on Japanese food next month. Don't do it. Let a different culture come into you. Let's say that you are, all of a sudden, you're like, well, I really identify with country music, but all of a sudden, I'm identifying with other kinds of music. It could be rap. It could, I hope not, but it could be, electronic. It could be anything, right? It could be anything. You're being asked to turn your attention away from the culture that is the most obvious to let in a culture that would be not so obvious. And you're going to be able, like, okay, Mercury in his little plume, the Quails in their plumes, the Mayan soldiers in their culture with their plumes, St. Patrick with his little thingy, which looks very much like a pyramid if you look at that hat that he wore, or that they show him wearing in the paintings of him. Oh my God, it does. It looks just like a pyramid. Okay, y'all, I'm for real. Pyramid energy to the Maximus. Pyramidus to the Maximus. That's y'all. The other thing is, when it comes to right intention, but you've got to shift your intention to a different culture, it's like you're going to be communing with the ancients of that culture, whatever that actually means to you. And so when you're doing your prayers, when you're doing your meditations, and I know this sounds a little bit out there, but honestly, it's what's coming through. It's what's coming through. It's what's coming through. When you're focusing prayers and intentions, remember, pyramids are still being discovered every day. We haven't found every pyramid there is out there. We don't know the exact whys and wherefores. And when I looked at the facts about this culture, and discovered, oh my gosh, no wonder I was like smelling chocolate and then seeing them. Well, I love Fiesta ware, right? Anything bright, colorful. I have Fiesta ware, and I have these beautiful Fiesta latte mugs. They're just plain, they're mugs, they're plain, they're a color, but they're Fiesta ware, and they're these luscious, delicious colors. That's what they looked like. And I'm like, why are they holding Fiesta? Why are they holding Fiesta ware? Latte mugs. And it's that. But here's the biggest thing. Man, I hope, here's the biggest thing about culture. I had a message from a gal the other day on the YouTube channel that she loved how I could talk about shamanism and this and that, but I didn't dress all like people get, I love my rattle. It's my banky right now. I'm telling y'all, I've been sleeping with this thing. The dreams that are coming are no joke. They're no joke. And when I shake it, like I shook it yesterday in yesterday's live, I wasn't being funny. I really think of this as a sacred tool. I'm holding on to an ethically sourced deer horn. This is made of animal skin. This is no joke, right? But she just was so happy to finally find someone just like her. I mean, let's face it, you guys. I look like what I am, a nice Jewish girl from Miami. I'm aware of that. But those are some of the clothes I wear, but I'm more comfortable in overalls. I'm definitely more comfortable in jeans and boots, and a hat on, and I'm country come to town. But I'm a lot of different cultures, and you're a lot of different cultures because you've lived so many different lives. And so another really big part of this is, don't let people tell you, or don't you think you're not a shaman or shaman material, because you're not dancing around, barefoot around a fire and chanting. There's a time for that. You might do that. I do that. I for sure do that. But just what you look like and what you wear and what culture you grew up in does not necessarily dictate who you really are. And if you identify and resonate with so many different cultures, okay, y'all ever heard Whitney's, I'm every woman, it's all in me? I think I sang a little bit of that some time ago. I was like, I'm every religion, it's all in me. Any faith you want done, baby. I do it naturally. Oh, 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 right? It's the same thing. You've got to be who you want to be. And that's going to come from inside of you, but you might discover something very different if you allow it in this month, especially when we get to full moon time. I can't even imagine how powerful it's going to be. So I hope all of that was helpful. please pick up your copy of the Archanimal Tarot and Oracle deck. Join me on my forums, gatheringofmystics.com. My gosh, you guys, the forums. Woo! They're just a big toy. And everybody there is so fantastic, and the conversations are amazing. It's truly a cool place. And I'm going to remind you again, please support my Kickstarter. My goal is to raise over $100,000. I'm donating at least $5,000 of the profits to animal charities that work to stop animal cruelty. And but the most important thing is what? Is to stay wild. Oh, and do good for animals. Bye!